This episode is proudly supported by Anchor Food Professionals, makers of mainland cheese. Here's Andy Sy from the Notting Hill Hotel.
We've been using them for a few years now, using their tasty and mozzarella cheese. We go through about 135 kilos a week at the moment. So a huge number. So we use it for our garlic bread, our pizzas, our parmas, our bechamel, our cheese sauce for our croquettes and arancini, throughout our lasagnas, anywhere we can really. It's such a good product. You know, having the freshest chips to your fresh chicken to a freshly crumbed schnitzel and topping up with a really high quality cheese is amazing.
For more information, go to anchorfoodprofessionals.com.
If you want to get your bike license when you're young and you know the guy that does the exam, you give him a pig and you give you the license. That's how it works in Sunday.
This is the Deep in the Weeds podcast. I'm Anthony Huckstep. Well, it's always a pleasure to catch up with Giovanni Pilu, but to do it in person in his new restaurant the day before it opens is a little bit loose and crazy. I can't believe you agreed to it. Gio, how are you?
Yeah, very well, Anthony. It's always great to talk to you, mate. And it's good, thank you, because it's giving me a bit of a break from the madness out there, which is really great. No, it's exciting and... new restaurant, wow, you know.
I know.
I thought I was going to be retired by now. Not happening.
Well, you've had such an amazing influence on this city on the other side of the harbour, and now here we are here, this new restaurant, Flaminia. Tell us about it.
So, yeah, I mean, like I said, I thought I was going to be retired. I'm 55, 20 years of Pilu Fresh Water, and then we are on to our 21st year, which is pretty amazing. I mean, I love Pilu Fresh Water, it's just our baby, and I think that's one of the reasons why we are here, I guess, because, Ben, the guy that, recruited us to open this beautiful place, got married at Pilu, and he said, oh, actually, do you want to do a restaurant in the city? And I'm just like, not a chance, man. What am I doing? I want to ride my bike in the morning. I want to do all the activities. How am I going to drive to the city? He goes, no, you can catch the ferry and then you are right there. And I went, oh, okay, well, then maybe we should go and have a look at it, So anyway, we came here and, in this beautiful location. I mean, Sydney Harbour, fresh water in Sydney Harbour. I'm just like, wow, I think if you are, a restaurateur, I think the hidden dream, it's one day maybe to open a restaurant on Sydney Harbour with a view of the bridge or the Opera House. So here we are,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Flaminia has a bit of a backstory, I understand. Tell us about the name and the history associated with it.
So, Flaminia, I think when you open a restaurant, the name is so important, right? It's like naming your child, why did you name it Martino, Sofia, And, we're thinking about names, and Marilyn came across, her grandmother's book that she wrote about the life, in Italy and then emigrating to Australia. And in the back of the book, there is a photo of the ship that they jumped on in Naples in 1959 to come here. And it was called Flaminia. And there is photos of, Flaminia docked right in front of where the restaurant is in Circular Quay. And I'm just like, that's it, right?
That's amazing.
What a story, connected to the family.
Yeah.
And, here we are in Flaminia, it's like, it started, like so many years ago, and now, we're opening this beautiful place with an incredible, story behind it.
Yeah, it's amazing. Tell us about putting this restaurant together. Like, to have your arm twisted to do it is one thing, but then taking it on, the whole fit out, tell us about the approach and what the journey's been like. So
when you do a restaurant, I think, Anthony, you need to have, an idea of what, and visualize what you're going to be doing and what your customers are going to be eating, experiencing, sitting, viewing, all that kind of stuff. So it's a combination of things, right? So we work with incredibly talented people. We're working with the Accor group, and they have, so many resources. They have, amazing people, that they have so many ideas. So they put the idea forward to us about the restaurant, and then now we got to develop it, right? And then the name obviously came first, and then what are we going to cook in this space? What are we going to serve? And then we looked at the demographic and where we are, and we thought that, I think Circular Quay has already great fine dining, right?
Yeah.
And it's got lots of, they really like touristy dining, which is fine. But then we thought that there was a gap in the market, of just like a mid-range restaurant, like something in the middle that it wasn't like up or down kind of thing, like sitting in the middle. Probably call it like an elevated casual, like a trattoria di mare is called in Italian, and that was the idea, because I think then you encourage people to keep coming back more and more, and it doesn't become just another special occasion restaurant, and then like the food, I thought, okay, well then imagine like we are in the most beautiful port in Australia, right? Circular Quay, correct? I think. And then we thought, 3/4 of Italy is on the water, and there is all these port cities around the country in Italy that they have all these amazing dishes. They're so different. A bit like Circular Quay, moving a lot, fishing boats coming into some of them. And then there is the smaller port cities. There is so much going on, and the food often is very diverse. Right? Still Italian, still similar to what, it is close to another village, to a port city. But port cities are so interesting, right? So we thought we're going to put on the menu 5 port cities at the time, and every port city is going to have antipasto, pasta, main, dessert.
Wow.
Okay.
Cool.
And we start with the most popular one so people can familiarize with it. So we went with, there will always be one Sardinian port city, because I'm from Sardinia. So Cagliari. Then you've got 2 from the north and 2 from the south. We got Genova, Venezia, Napoli, Palermo.
Wow.
So the menu is, traveling Italy in these beautiful port cities, and the dishes come from the port city.
That's amazing.
So then when you come in, you can have a full port for lunch or dinner, so from the antipasto to dessert. Or you can have, today I'm going to have the antipasto from Cagliari, the pasta from Napoli, the dessert from Palermo, and then to top it up, we built in the middle of the dining room a crudo bar, because crudo in Italy, it's a massive thing, right?
Yeah.
Raw fish, Australia has got incredible produce and amazing fish. So crudo bar in view, it's in the middle of the dining room with 14 chairs around it. The chefs are cutting fresh fish.
Brilliant.
With 5 different dressings from each port city. You got a different dressing, so you can have tuna, you can have kingfish, you can have coral trout, you can have scallops with your choice of a dressing from one of those port cities. And then obviously, which I believe Sydney Rock oysters are the best in the world.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Yeah.
That's me, right?
No, and me.
Okay, that makes it 2
And
of
Rob's
us.
putting his hand up too.
And Rob, 3. They are incredible. So 2 different locations, North Coast and South Coast. We will have also a small Pacific from Coffin Bay, maybe, one of the gazandas, because I love them as well. And then we will include also what in Italy, it's a must. They're always part of the menu. They're called marinati. Marinati are an octopus salad. It's been marinated and then you scoop it on the plate, right?
Yeah.
Or gamberi alla catalana, or anchovies in olive oil and lemon. So that's what the menu is, about. It's about, embracing these like port cities, putting, food on the table that is so simple, like a port city is, or a little coastal villages in Italy, but beautifully done. I mean, one of the dressing is olio e limone. Olio e limone in Naples, right, or in Puglia. If you go to Bari, you go, into a trattoria di mare. Literally, they put a raw octopus in front of you, knife and fork, lemon and oil. Yeah, that's it, right? Beautiful. And then bread. That's it. So that is the simplicity of what we're trying to do here. We don't want to. I drilled, the waiters the last couple of days to make sure that they understand the customer needs to relax. Yeah. There is no pressure. The food is simple. You share. The packery, all the pastas are freshly made. That's what Italian dining is, I think.
I love this idea.
In a nutshell.
It's amazing. Yeah. It's such a great idea. Yeah. And the beautiful thing, I guess, about Italy is that no matter there's so many, the food changes so much as you travel. Drastically. And trying to capture that like that on a menu. Yeah. There are a couple of dishes that are really different from different regions that you can tell us about that sort of exemplify a journey that you can have.
let's go to other, for instance, well, let's sorry, it's a cliche, but Sardinia. Let's talk about one of the dishes that we have in the port of Cagliari. And now Cagliari, remember, if it's a port city, like Cagliari is in the south, right? But the influences that go around the region where the port city is can cross, right? So the Catalana, it's a dish from Alghero, which is another port city in the north part of Sardinia. So that dish, it's a particular dish from Alghero because the Catalans are so prominent still in Alghero. It's a Catalan town, basically. So gamberi alla Catalana, you got amazing prawns from maybe Maluluba, and then you just dress them simply with celery, tomatoes, pickled onions, parsley, olive oil. So that's a marinato from this particular port city, right? And then you got something like torta genovese, so from Genova. And that's the other thing. There is some things like, let's talk about the mains. So the mains, because that's the question, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but are you going to do just seafood? No, hang on. Port cities doesn't mean there is seafood only.
Yeah.
The port cities, when you come out of the port, then there is countryside. So there is, a lamb dish from Sardinia with schiscionera, which schiscionera, it's a sauce. It's like a salsa verde kind of thing with parsley, eschalots, a little bit of chili, a little bit of garlic, olive oil, and the lamb is being slowly cooked and served with a schiscionera sauce. But that's a dish from a port city that you will eat if you go to Cagliari, or the meatballs that come from Genova, right? That's what it's interesting about this menu, that there is dishes that you may haven't seen before, or they're similar to other dishes that they are around Italy, because Italian food changes, but there's similarities everywhere. Yeah. But they're particular from this maybe town that we are cooking from. Naples. This is crazy. You get your head around this, right? Naples, there is a ragu called ragu genovese. Genova, ragu. So you go, hang on. Naples, Genova, over there. And also, again, that's not a fish dish, right? But ragu genovese in Naples, it's a staple, right? And it's braised beef shin, cooked into a ragu with ziti, which is a long tube pasta, like a macaroncini, but really long. And the ragu was born in Naples hundreds of years ago, because the Genovese were fishermen and sailors. They used to sail around the world and establish themselves in communities to fish and to live, and a lot of Genovese went to Naples so long ago, and there is communities of Genovese in Naples that they brought the dish with them.
Wow.
But now it's called ragu genovese, but it's a Napolitan dish.
Yeah. Amazing.
Which is, it's mind-blowing, right? So that is on the menu. So that's what I mean. So different dishes that they are a little bit interesting, and it's not another burrata on the menu. It's not another.
I love the intense research that you have and depth behind something that's just so beautiful and simple for someone on the plate to experience.
Yeah.
You've made a huge name for yourself with suckling pig at Pilu, and that's going to feature on the menu too.
I knew you were going to bring this. Every customer is going to go, have you got your pig on the menu? Yes, we do.
Well, tell us about this suckling pig dish and how to make it.
Well, in actual fact, the pig at Pilu Freshwater over the years has been, served like more of a fine dining way, because that's Pilu, right? Fully deboned and, with a nice garnish and individually portioned and all that kind of stuff. Crispy skin, all that, which is fine. But here, remember, we're in a trattoria di mare. So I thought, okay, this is my chance to do the pig like they do it in Sardinia. You need to pre-order it more often than not, because it needs to be, found and killed and all that, and prepared. And then it's normally, you get a half a pig basically in the middle of the table, and then you share it with potatoes or sides or whatever, right? And it comes out, the pig will be between 6 to 8 kilos, so you get a half a pig, cut in half, and then cooked really slowly. It takes about 3 hours until the bones are sliding off, like the meat is just like, and the skin has to be like a biscuit, right? So that is what we're going to be serving. So I reckon this will be about, I don't know, like if it's you and I, we may tackle one of those, two of us, but otherwise maybe 4 to 6 people. And that's what reminds me of. And then you got the head on, so you eat the cheek, all those nice parts that you couldn't probably serve a Pilu freshwater, but in this case, I'm going to send you out the half a pig, and then you have a beautiful knife, serrated knife with tongs, and you cut it and share it for the table.
Now, not everyone can cook a pig like you do. You're a bit of a master of it. What do you do? Like, how do you cook a suckling pig with the outcome like that?
So what we do is the pig normally, as all the meat does, probably better to, even fish, you hang it for like a day or 2 for the skin to make sure it's really dry, right? And then we split it in half in the spine, so then it goes onto this tray. And then what we do is, because the idea of the skin to be really crispy, you need to draw the moisture out. A bit like when you do pork crackling and you score it so all the the moisture comes out and then it starts drying out and cracking, right? Same thing for the baby pig. You don't score the skin, but then you rub it with a lot of salt because the salt draws all the moisture out, and then you slow roast it on a low temperature, about 110 degrees, for up to 3 hours. So when it's cooked and it's like really tender, then it comes out of the oven, we rest it, we wipe all the salt off really thoroughly, and then it goes back in on 220 degrees to make sure that the skin becomes like a biscuit, and that's it. I mean, that's pork, right? So, yeah.
You make it sound so simple. How important is it to, say, Sardinian history and culture to share a pig like that? Like, is that really core to you?
Massive. I mean, suckling pig, the pork. And it's funny that, right? Because people go, are you from Sardinia? You don't just eat fish? It's like, no, actually, Sardinia, as we may spoke about in the past, the coast of an island is very dangerous because the invaders come, and the Sardinians always lived up on the hills, on the mountains, to hide from the invaders. So the diet of Sardinians is developed to be more meat and cheese and pasta and bread, obviously, than fish. The fish came later. The fish came like only 120 years ago, which is, Sardinia is thousands of years old, and the pork and the suckling pig is, obviously an influence. We surely had an influence from the Spanish invasion, because Spain does suckling pig amazingly well, and the baby suckling pig, I think that is the background. But now, if you got a friend at home and you're celebrating something, you cook a pig. That's as simple as that. If you want to get your bike license when you're young, and you know the guy that does the exam, you give him a pig and you give you the license. That's how it works in Sardinia.
What do you love about cooking pork?
Just the final result. Yeah. When people go, when you're cutting and go, oh, wow, listen to the skin, crispy skin, juicy meat. Yeah. Mate, how can you go wrong? You can't go wrong.
I still can't believe that you agreed to do this recording, like literally as you're about to open. How are you feeling at the moment? You've put all this together.
Look, what's it feel like? Feeling a little bit more relaxed. We've put a lot of energy into this. Last 6 weeks have been like really busy, but I call it good busy. I'm learning because I'm working with a hotel group for the first time. It's not just us. But it's been a learning curve. It came late in life, which, it's great because you never stop learning, right? So I'm learning new things to work with different people, and we have an amazing team. So look, it's been at times a bit stressful, but I think you can do good things and not be a little bit stressed. Things just come easily. So, but now here we are. Tomorrow we're going to open the doors, and I'm so excited, man.
Taking on big new projects like this, does it put a sort of a reinvigorate you and put a spring in your step? Time.
I wouldn't say I'm getting bored, because it's not a nice thing, like if you're getting bored, it's bad. I'll never get bored. I love what I do, right? But I think it was time for us to do something else. It was great. Like we didn't know what, we didn't want to open another restaurant, but this is a different kind of project. There is maybe other things to come, and it's almost like a long-term project, because hotels, I think, are great spaces and great places with amazing views and so much potential, and now they can do better, maybe with guys like us, or Alessandro or Ross that is in Crown, like all these guys that they come in, Sean Connolly, they're going into 5-star hotels and really lifting the bar or what, Luke Mangan has done it for a long time, in the Hilton. But that is what I think hotels need, a bit of an injection of, like something fresh. They need to freshen up and they need to be more approachable, at the point that I think, if you stay 5 nights here, now you could be dining here maybe 3 nights out of 5, where in the past maybe you only came down just one night and just had breakfast because maybe it wasn't up to scratch, right? I mean, I look at the Carlisle in Brisbane. That place is ridiculous. You go in, you spend 3 nights there, you got Hellenica, you got Oyster & Co, you got Bianca next door, sushi room, you don't move. That's the experience, right? And this is what we're trying to do here. Yeah.
Well, it's extraordinary looking restaurant, and amazing that you have us here right before you open. As always, Joe, absolute pleasure to catch up with
thanks,
you,
mate.
We'll have to catch up again soon.
Yeah, good. Thanks, mate.
This is the Deep in the Weeds podcast. I'm Anthony Huckstep. Stay tuned as we take a deep dive into the lives of the incredible people who ply their trade in the food and hospitality sector. Special thanks to executive producer Rob Locke for making this all happen. Follow us on Instagram at Deep in the Weeds Podcast, or email us at podcast@deepintheweeds.com.au. Thanks to executive producer Rob Locke for making this all happen. Stay safe and be well.